Good morning, everyone. We are Lorenzo, Cáceres, and Salem Mubarak from the University of Lima, Peru. It's a pleasure to be here with you today to delve into the topic Teaching Inside a Closet, Experiences of LGBTIQ plus teachers regarding the professional practice in regular basic education in Peru. We are excited to explore the unique and valuable experiences of LGBTIQ plus educators within the Peruvian educational landscape. Education plays a vital role in building a society that embraces diversity and inclusivity, fostering understanding and acceptance of different identities and sexual orientations. Educators hold significant responsibility in promoting respect and tolerance toward sexual diversity among students, making the inclusion of sexual diversity education in school curricula essential to combat discrimination and foster a fairer, more inclusive society. Despite progress in legislation and social awareness, deep-seated prejudices persist, negatively impacting the education experiences of LGBTIQ plus students and highlighting the urgent need to address these challenges to the global recognition of the importance of promoting sexual diversity in education. This reflects a shift in the international education agenda, although resistance to this inclusion presents additional hurdles for LGBTIQ plus educators who face institutional and social obstacles in their daily work.
Moving forward to the methodology applied, we employed a qualitative approach within the phenomenological paradigm to deeply understand the subjective experiences of LGBTIQ plus teachers in the context of Peruvian basic education. The descriptive nature of the study aligned with the methodological choice, aiming to capture and analyze participants' personal experiences and the meaning they attribute to their identity and professional practice. The selection of a phenomenological paradigm, as proposed by Sofer, was justified by its suitability for exploring the lived experiences of teachers within the LGBTIQ plus community, allowing for a nuanced understanding of their perspectives and realities in the Peruvian basic education context. To deeply understand LGBTIQ plus teachers' experiences, semi-structured interviews were chosen, aiming to discover comprehensive responses through a mix of structured and open-ended questions. This approach allowed for flexibility while maintaining resulting in a detailed understanding aligned with qualitative principles. The participants in this research were teachers who identify as part of the LGBTIQ plus community and work within the Peruvian basic education regular system. An intentional, non-probabilistic selection process was used to address the diversity of experiences and opinions within the group. A total of 15 teachers who met the aforementioned criteria were invited to participate. Table 1 summarizes the general profile of the participants. We applied 5 categories of analysis, starting with the first one with general characteristics of teachers, understanding aspects such as age, LGBTIQ plus identity, academic level, teaching experiences, grade, and level taught. On the second category of analysis, we can find work context and climate with peers and colleagues, finding exploration details of the work environment from the perspective of employee to employer and colleague relationships, focusing on experiences within the LGBTIQ plus community. As a third category, we find classroom climate and relationship with students, investigating potential limitations faced by teachers in expressing their identity with teaching. As a fourth category, we find context and relationship with student families, examining if teachers perceive limitations in expressing their LGBTIQ plus identity when interacting with students' families. And finally, as a fifth category, we find the conditions within the Peruvian basic education system for LGBTIQ plus teachers, that finds the understanding teachers' perspective on current conditions regarding inclusion and acceptance of the LGBTIQ plus community within the Peruvian education system. Part of our validation process aimed to ensure the effectiveness of the semi-structured interviews. A pilot test was conducted with three randomly chosen participants. These aimed to validate the suitability of the research instrument and confirm that the questions were appropriate for gathering relevant data. Following this test, it was affirmed that the questions provided a solid framework for data collection, leading to their use with the entire participant group to maintain data integrity. Validation of the results involved a multi-stage approach. Initially, a peer review by experts in social studies, including psychology and pedagogy, ensured coherence and relevance in interpretations. Their feedback was incorporated into refining interpretations and validating the findings. Additionally, a confirmation session with the same participants further enriched the process, allowing for clarification of findings and enhancing the understanding of LGBTIQ+ teachers' experiences in the Peruvian educational context. This multi-stage validation approach ensured thorough evaluation and strengthened the research conclusions.
In the part of the results, experiences of LGBTIQ+ teachers in Peru regular basic education systems vary greatly, reflecting a mixed acceptance landscape. While some educators receive support, others encounter discrimination, highlighting the need for targeted efforts to address disparity effectively. Around 30% of surveyed teachers observed progress in recognizing and supporting the LGBTIQ+ community within Peruvian education, indicating pockets of an advancement but also signaling the need for broader systemic changes. Challenges persist for LGBTIQ+ teachers, underscoring the urgency of strengthening institutional policies for a more inclusive work environment and implementing comprehensive interventions to tackle subtle discrimination and overt prejudice. LGBTIQ+ educators' experiences involve workplace dynamics, classroom interactions, and engagement within students' families, illustrating the complexity of their professional environment. Many feel compelled to hide their identity for fears of potential backlash, reflecting broader society attitudes and the necessity for cultural shifts and institutional support. Despite these challenges, LGBTIQ+ educators become for active involvement in curriculum design, recognizing its transformative potential for creating supportive learning environment that can embrace diversity and foster inclusivity.
Moving forward, we found 6 lines of discussions. As a first case, the choice to employ semi-structured interviews in the research allowed for a deep understanding of the experiences of LGBTIQ+ teachers, providing a detailed context to comprehend their viewpoints. In a second line of discussion, we found that interviewed teachers highlight the lack of awareness, training, and education on issues related to LGBTIQ+ diversity and inclusion within educational communities, echoing findings from previous literature as Fernandez et al. In 2022 mentioned. As a third line of discussion, the absence of a proposal for comprehensive sexual education, or ESI as the Spanish initials mention, within the National Basic Education curriculum reflects a significant gap in teachers' training and educational practices, emphasizing the need for comprehensive training programs. As a fourth line of discussion, we find the reflections of LGBTIQ+ teachers underscore the lack of resources and consideration for them within the Peruvian educational context, revealing a barrier of recognition and visibility stemming from heteronormativity. In a fifth line of discussion, we understand that it is crucial to consider the experiences of this camouflaged community within the Peruvian educational sphere to promote the inclusion of sexual diversity in education and overcome stereotypes and limitations. And finally, as a sixth line of discussion, the voices and experiences of LGBTIQ+ teachers provide valuable insights into the complexity of educational inclusion and its significance in the current Peruvian context.
Finally, as conclusions, this study aimed to describe the experiences of LGBTIQ+ teachers in Peru educational setting, using a qualitative approach to highlighting key diversity and inclusion themes.
Furthermore, a recurring finding was the pressing need for teacher training in sexual diversity topics, with LGBTIQ+ educators expressing a lack of awareness and training within educational communities, hindering their ability to foster inclusive environments.
LGBTIQ+ teachers' experience varied, with some feeling unable to fully express their identity at work due to institutional representation, while positive institutional acceptance positively impacted their perception and ability to express themselves openly.
We also concluded that the absence of awareness and a specific training in comprehensive sexual education hampers teaching practices in promoting LGBTIQ+ student inclusion, underscoring current training inadequacies in addressing sexual diversity in classrooms.
Finally, future research could explore the effectiveness of tailored teacher training programs across diverse regions and examine how institutional policies shape LGBTIQ+ teachers' perceptions and experiences, as well as analyze the implementation and effectiveness of inclusive educational practices in diverse classrooms, furthering understanding of diversity importance in education.
Thank you very much for listening to the findings from our research. We hope you have enjoyed your time and enjoyed our presentation. Thank you very much.